We teach behind walls, and these walls block everyone's view.
Welcome to the Hack Learning Podcast, progressive education that provides right-now solutions and never requires a 5-year plan. And now, here's your host, a man who believes old school teachers should be put in a timeout, Mark Barnes.
That is the new introduction to the Hack Learning Podcast, and if you're listening to episode 92, then you're getting that for the first time, and I hope you enjoy it, and we've got a different outro for you as well, so make sure you stay tuned to the end. So in the beginning, I talked about walls. We teach behind walls, and they block everyone's view, and this comes from Hack 9, the Glass Classroom. Put learning on display with social media. That's Hack 9 of Hacking Education, 10 Quick Fixes for Every School. And I bring this up today, and I want to talk about this hack and a little bit more about this book because I need a drum roll. I don't have a drum roll, but I'll do some clapping. It's about to be Hacking Education's birthday. There you go. Yeah, it deserves some cheers and some clapping. So this month, Hacking Education will be 2 years old. So that means that 2 years ago, Hacking Education was published and it launched the Hack Learning series, which now, 2 years later, we're up to 12 books in the series. And we've got 13, 14, 15 coming this year. We've got 6 or 8 lined up for next year. So the series continues to grow. We're really excited. And it's because of you. So first of all, I want to give you the due that you deserve. The due you deserve. It's like Mountain Dew. It's like the old commercial, right? Mountain Dew. Not that due. The due you deserve. Your due, D-U-E. Because without you, the Hack Learning series probably wouldn't exist. So I want to say thank you, first of all. And, I thought about this 2 years, and I thought, should we make a big deal out of this? Is it a big deal? And, 2 years that a book was published. And I think in most cases it probably wouldn't be a big deal. But the fact is that Hacking Education was an idea that really started from a blog post I wrote. And then I discussed it with my co-author, Jennifer Gonzalez. She writes at Cult of Pedagogy. Check her out. She's phenomenal, puts out some of the best content in education weekly, and has a phenomenal podcast too. But Jen and I talked, and we talked about this blog post, and we went back and forth on it, and it turned into these more hacks. And really people had asked, people had said, you got some cool ideas in there for some right now solutions, because that's what the blog post was about. And they said there could be more of these. I wonder if this could be a book. So Jennifer and I talked about it. We started brainstorming. And so as the conversation continued, we pounded out these 10 hacks, and it turned into Hacking Education, 10 Quick Fixes for Every School, which I'm proud to say went on to be a Benjamin Franklin Award winner, recognized as one of the best books in education in 2015. And I opened with a line from the hack called the Glass Classroom. And there's so many I could have picked from here. And I've talked about some of these hacks in other podcast episodes. But I think it's important because there's so much going on with technology now. We just did Hacking Google for Education. And there is Hacking Digital Learning Strategy just coming up. It's all about EdTech missions and really some amazing, powerful education stuff that's being written by Shelley Terrell. That's coming soon. And then we've got 2 Hacking Engagement books. You may know the first, and we've got Hacking Engagement Again by Jim Sturdivant coming up. Jim talks all about engaging in a lot of ways, and a lot of them have nothing to do with technology. But he's really great at technology as well, and saying, hey, here's a tool that you can use quickly and easily to engage learners. So I thought, if I want to talk about hacking education, and this month, it being 2 years old, I thought I want to pick something that's relevant to everything that's going on in education now. And I want to give you some right now solutions, because that's what we do on Hack Learning. So, unless I'm doing Hack Learning Uncut, which sometimes I just rant. But right now, I want to give you something because you've given so much. And Hacking Education's 2, and it's been really successful, and it continues to sell, and people keep sharing these hacks. I've talked a lot about the pineapple chart, which is so popular, and people keep sharing it, and it has its own hashtag. And there's so many other things. The Book Nook, I just talked about that one, and creating a library in your classroom and in your school and giving books away to kids and making them lifelong readers, which is phenomenal. So there's so much of that in here. But I thought, let's do something around technology today, and I want to give you some things that you can do tomorrow to create a glass classroom. So I'm going to share a little bit of this hack, and I'm going to go one step further. And over at hacklearningpodcast.com, you will find this episode. You'll find it at episode 92, hacklearningpodcast.com. And I will give you there, when you click into that show notes, I'm going to give you this whole chapter. How cool is that? So if you haven't read Hacking Education, I'm going to give you all of Hack 9. You know, that's a pretty cool bonus, but I think we're celebrating, right? We're celebrating a birthday, and I want you to have something. So I'm going to give you a little bit of this glass classroom today. So when we get to, the problem section, which is where I open the show with We Teach Behind Walls, Jen Gonzalez and I go on and we say, sure, we might take notes in class. We might provide handouts or links to supplementary information, but the real live experiences float away as soon as they're over. The ephemeral nature of our teaching, the fact that what we do in our classroom is more or less shrouded, contributes to problems like these. And here's a list of problems. Parents who are expected to support their child with homework assignments or projects often throw up their hands, not fully understanding our intention with a given assignment. And another, absent students, even when given make-up work, can never quite replicate the experience of being in class. And a third problem, our collaboration with other teachers is almost always limited to our description of what we do, rather than being able to actually show what goes on in our classrooms. Even if we take advantage of the pineapple charts in Hack 2, we are still limited to observing the teachers in our building by the constraints of our individual schedules and by our own comfort with approaching other people about their classroom practices. What if we could tear down the walls of our classrooms and make our in-class learning activities transparent to anyone who's interested? And that brings us to the hack. Build a transparent classroom with social media. You might think, yeah, I know about social media, and I've heard a lot about this, and I know there's things you can do, but I'm a little bit afraid of it. And we've talked a ton about that here on the Hack Learning Podcast. But I want to jump ahead because you're going to go over the show notes page. And you're going to go to hacklearningpodcast.com. You're going to find the show notes, click into them, and you're going to see this whole piece there, if you can. But if you can't, I'm going to share with you what everyone loves about Hacking Education and about the Hack Learning series. I'm going to share with you the What You Can Do Tomorrow section in this hack called the Glass Classroom. And people love what you can do tomorrow. I hear it all the time because they say it's practical, and I love that I can take something and do it. When I read a book, I can take it into class. Well, you can listen to this show, and who knows, maybe you're on your way to work. So here we go, from the Glass Classroom. Creating a classroom that allows anyone to look inside takes time. You'll need to educate all stakeholders, build regular sharing into your routine, and learn some new technology. But to get a quick, small taste of what a glass classroom is like, try this. Create a social channel for one class. With your administrator's permission, set up an invitation-only Facebook page or Twitter account for your class, or a single class period if you teach middle or high school. If your school uses a tool like Edmodo, you may already have an online channel that parents and students have access to. This will work fine. So Edmodo is a learning management system like Schoology, Fresh Grade, Seesaw. There's a whole lot of them out there that, and they're all great in their own way. So I'm not really advocating for one in this episode. I'm just saying that, those systems, if you have them in place, they allow for this kind of transparency. But, you can set up that invitation-only Facebook page or group, which is amazing. So many teachers are doing cool things with that. A Twitter account. You can use hashtags. There's a lot of ways you can do it. So that's what you can do tomorrow. Think about the tools you have at your fingertips, because that's what we do with Hack Learning. What do we have that we can use? And then give it a try. Here's another what you can do tomorrow for a glass classroom. Record instruction. At some point during the day, when you are giving instructions, demonstrating a technique, or otherwise doing something that would be hard to replicate on paper, have someone with a smartphone record you. Unless you already have permission to record students, just stick to recording yourself this time. So that's a little bit, sometimes people will push back. And of course, there's a pushback section in the chapter that you can see on show notes. Keep the video short. Less than 2 minutes is ideal. Before you record, explain your purpose to students. Build excitement about the idea of being able to see something from class when they are at home that night. From there, you think about it, if you have that learning management system, you could put it there. If you have a classroom blog, you could put it there. You can create a YouTube video. You could email it to parents. Think of how cool that is. And on YouTube, you can set it up where only people with the link can see it. So if you don't want to be out there for the entire world. So that's another option, what you can do tomorrow. And remember, what we're doing, we're creating a glass classroom. We're making teaching and learning transparent. Isn't that a wonderful idea? So here's another, what you can do tomorrow. Load your video onto your new social channel. Embed or link the video to your class Facebook page, Twitter feed, or YouTube channel. If you're not sure how to do this, find someone to show you how. Your students may be the best resources in this case. And also in this, in Hacking Education, which is going to be happy birthday coming up this month. There's a chapter in here, a hack about using student tech gurus. And this is amazing for alleviating a lot of the pressure on teachers, because kids know so much. And then here's another, what you can do tomorrow. Share your channel via email. Send parents the web link to the channel. Remember, that channel could be Facebook, it could be Twitter, it could be a YouTube channel, it could be your learning management system. And explain to them that it contains a video that will give them a glimpse of today's activity and that you are hoping to do more of this in the future. To boost participation right from the start, ask them to add comments or questions to the video post. Now, when we wrote this 2 years ago, you think it doesn't seem that long ago, right? But 2 years ago, live streaming video was not nearly as popular as it is today. Periscope was which is owned by Twitter, was just now really starting to become popular. And in fact, in the Hack in Action section, there's a piece in there about a teacher who used Periscope in class to share what was going on live, to take her glass classroom live. And you can do that with Facebook. You can do it with just about everything now, and then you can create your own story. So let your imagination run wild here with what you can do to create a glass classroom. We need transparency in our class. It's just really important to show parents, and we need to do it with more than sending a report card home or an email saying that their child misbehaved in some way. We want to show kids the amazing things. We want to show parents, well, kids too. We want to give them access, but we want to show parents the amazing things that are going on in our classroom. Hey, I want you to get over to show notes at hacklearningpodcast.com and check out the Glass Classroom from Hacking Education, 10 Quick Fixes for Every School, which is turning 2 this month. Yes, more cheers for Hacking Education turning 2. And another thank you to you for making the Hack Learning series so popular and really helping us with our mission, which is nothing more than to solve problems in teaching and learning the easy way, to use the assets around us, to find the people, oftentimes the students, the parents, the community, the teacher right next door, to make problem solving easy, because it can be. We don't need another 5-year plan. Hey, I hope you'll check out Hacking Education. If you haven't already, you're going to get a chapter over on show notes, and all of the Hack Learning books you can find at hacklearning.org, on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and other places. Happy birthday, Hacking Education, and thank you so much for joining us in this celebration. See you next time.
You've been listening to the Hack Learning Podcast with edu-hacker extraordinaire, Mark Barnes. If your ears can stand it, listen to more at hacklearningpodcast.com and read a Hack Learning book, for crying out loud. They're smart, practical, and shockingly inexpensive. Grab one today at hacklearningbooks.com.